Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Yasharala, peace be to the nation of Israel, whom are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and a speck of our Israelites scattered across the four corners of the earth, including within America, Babylon the Great, and we are the Most High, Yahweh's chosen people of the nation of Israel. So without further ado, as always, just want to give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God of the living, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baruch Kodash, which is our praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten and anointed Son, Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, who was our strength and our Redeemer, and our light and our salvation. In the same tongue, go to utter Mashina, Kabadim, Lahas, Kwani, Mishal, the Barakab, many double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and true shepherds of Israel, along like-minded Sequani will Akim across the four corners of the earth, including within America, Babylon the Great, we are the Most High, Yahweh, chosen people of the nation of Israel. With your fellow servant Malak Rayab, back at it again on another epistle, right, entitled Leave the World Behind, the End of the Antichrists. All right. Mainly the Zionist bankers, and their lower luminaries, including the Obamas, that produced this movie on Netflix entitled "Leave the World Behind." Which is another, platform of predictive programming of what Esau is planning of doing, what he has foretold, what he's foretelling on the left-hand side as the prophets of Baal, because what these devils are doing through their satanic devices is prophesying on the left-hand side. All right. So, including the intricate details of the Satanic New World Order, which includes shutting down the border, instituting martial law, are exacerbating the natural resources of food, water, agriculture, and so forth. Which is why the farming industry is prophesied to be further affected by the death of this current monetary system. All right, including other plagues, such as more pestilences, like the white lung pneumonia situation in China, which reminds me that China was also, mentioned in this movie, which I'm gonna get into that at some point in this epistle. So you got that situation, you got civil wars, actual full-fledged wars, including this last war, and then the institution of the mark of the beast, the market chip. You see, so all is integrated within this new world order plan to eventually, give everyone, that incision, that chip, the mark of the beast. But the main theme of this movie, was knowing who your friends are. Okay, the true friends, okay, in the biblical sense, are the friends of Yahweh Shai. Because they could be, so whoever Yahweh Shai considers a friend is my friend, and that should be the same mindset of all of the hopeful elect. All right, even individuals who you may not see, particularly see eye to eye with, or regarding some indifferences, whatever the case may be, as long as they're not going off in the doctrine, they are friends of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, which means they are our friends. Okay. Yeah, but that's not the mindset of the vast majority of the world, and this is why they're going to turn on each other. And that was also mentioned in that movie, where in these last days, when the shit hits the fan and the stakes are high, whatever civility these people think they have, within their normacy, is going to fail them, and they're going to realize that they're the brute beast they are when they're turning on their own their so-called fellow man. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and bring out some precepts and further dissect this movie, through some footnotes I took, and out of Ratazah to be further edifying, exhorting to elect, as well as comforting. So I'm going to share the screen now. All right, give me 1 second, Baba Shah. All right. So I'm going to grab St. John, chapter 15, verse 15. All right. Yahushua said, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. And how do we show friendship? Through the fruits of the Spirit, okay? Charity, praying for one another, even if, once again, there's some differences, within certain camps, as long as these camps are not going off, all right, and, or other Akim, out there, that may not be in camps that are not going off, we're supposed to pray for one another, okay? Because that's what our Malak would do, Hamashiach Haushai, and this is what our forefathers of the house of David would do, and more importantly, Hamashiach Haushai, because we don't know who's of the elect. All right, we pray, and me myself, speaking as a man, an Israelite man myself, I pray that I'm of the hopeful. I pray I'm of the elect. That's why I'm of the hopeful elect. The righteous, the like-minded, righteous individual of Yasharallah has that same mindset. So, because our main enemy is Esau, Edom, these heathen nations, and 2/3. We don't know who the 2/3 are. We're supposed to, pray for one another. Going to the tender mercies of David, for example. So, I'm gonna go ahead and continue in verse 16 in the same chapter, St. John 15 and 16. It reads, "Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you." As you know, that's why we're supposed to be in the spirit of our forefather, King Solomon. King Solomon, which is another pre-incarnation of Hamashiach Abishai, who was known for praying for spiritual gifts, okay? To further, and better please Abba Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, okay? So St. John 15:17 says, "These things I command you, that you love one another," because when we love each other, we love Yahushai, okay? You know, and in this body, we learn how to love one another, because some of us come from certain backgrounds, you know, um, where we may have certain ways of how we learn to show love, but the true way to show love is simply through the righteous instruction of the scriptures, man. Okay, looking out for one another spiritually, praying for one another. Okay, praying for the household of the hopeful elect. Because the best thing you could do for a friend is pray for them. Okay, and this is why, speaking of which, I'm going to grab this in St. Matthew chapter 5 and 44. All right, and it reads, "But I say to you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you." All right, they could be men, all right, that pushes the same doctrine, but they can have certain differences, all right, that may lead to offenses. Okay, even hatred. We're all men here. Okay, and speaking to the men of Yasharala first and foremost, the warriors, the prophets, the kings, the priests of the nation. All right. So we're held to a higher standard of a higher frequency of the righteous instruction of the gospel of Yahweh Shemeshai. All right. And this is why Yahweh said in St. Matthew, the 5th chapter, how we're supposed to be perfect like our Father is perfect, meaning what we're supposed to aspire to be, perfect, to aspire to, to yearn, for any leaven that's within us. Okay, any wrong way that's within us, any leaven to be purged from us, for us to be further refined. Okay, so we could be as perfect, blameless and spotless as possible in Jacob's trouble, in the time of in the dark hour, when all hell breaks loose. Okay, so whoever this pertains to of the hopeful elect, of the elect, speaking of myself as a hopeful elect, we're all supposed to be praying for one another. Okay, that's why Elder Apostle Hard has been very long suffering with Bishop Nate, because he believes he can make it. Other certain men may not believe that way. But that's a further example of fruits of the spirit. As wicked as Bishop Nate has been, Elder Apostle Hart has been pulling through for him. Praying for him. And this is what we're supposed to be doing. Rooting for for the hopeful elect to make it. Okay. Case in point. Just so expound on that point, but this is St. Matthew 5:45, and it says that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven, for he maketh the sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. Okay, so by exercising these fruits of the Spirit, we are walking that straight and narrow gate of righteousness as the children of our Abba, our Father, which is in heaven, and these are the things that pleases Him. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to the next chapter. St. Matthew 6, before I go in and start unraveling the movie, through the footnotes I took, further, dissecting the movie in a spiritual sense, in regards to the predictive programming that the movie served as. I'm gonna get into that in a second, but I just want to establish this real quick. I'm going to continue to do so in St. Matthew 6 and 14. It says, "For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you." Verse 15, "But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses." You see, so this is the true mindset of a friend. All right, praying for our enemies. All right, in his body. Okay, in regards to certain differences or whatever the obstacles may be, we're supposed to be praying for one another, because because we can't rely on ourselves in this body. How the fuck, who the fuck we gonna rely on in the world? There's no one in the world that we can rely on, man. Okay, these people are brutish. They have no integrity. They don't have no morality. You see what I'm saying? So when all hell breaks loose, they're gonna turn on each other. Even to the point of even to the point of what I'm saying, pursuing Isaiah the 9th chapter, looking at, these people are going to be looking at one each other, at each other as meals, you know, pursuing Isaiah 9:19, you know, because it's going to get so bad out here regarding the famine and the pestilence that, these people are going to be preying on each other, even to the point of devouring one another, literally devouring themselves. So this is the evil that Yahweh Shemashah is going to reign on this earth, and this is what that movie was going into. Okay, because at the end of that movie, and this is a spoiler alert, you know, um, spoil, it can be, it's a spoiler alert, so if you haven't watched it, obviously you watch the movie before you watch this, but there's gonna be spoiler alerts in this epistle. But at the end of the movie, you know, cheated my girl was found a underground bunker, basically like a silo, like an underground bunker from the nukes, of shelter for the nukes. And she found a Friends DVD, and she popped in a Friends DVD. Now that was further symbolic of knowing who your friends are. That's why they put that in there. Otherwise, it would have seemed to be a weird ending, but that's what Esau wanted to push in there because he knows that people are going to turn on each other. That's why in other predictive programming platforms like Squid Games on Netflix, these devils will sit on and like high rafters, you know, watching everyone, watching people put themselves to death for money, for their amusement. Because they don't care about nothing. They don't care about nobody. They don't care about nothing. That's why this devil Esau, even a self-proclaimed white man, is a man of sin and some perdition, and he has made a living off of death. And he sold this covenant with death, this Western philosophy, through his policies, his other moral decrees, and and entertainment and so forth. Okay, as the standard, this established standard of living. You see, and this is why the Book of Proverbs speaks about those people being disappointed. Okay, because they have trusted in princes, they have trusted in horses. You see, they trusted in the modern day Pharaoh of Egypt, the house of bondage. And this is what America represents. Okay, a pit of hell. Okay, the main snare, spoken in Psalm the 140 chapter, for example, because America is a stage of death. That's why a lot of people want to come over here to be free, in the sense of just being a brute beast with no order, no restraint, no temperance, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's why this place is gonna be fair to turn upside down, man. It's gonna be utter pandemonium out here. Okay, so here's why I just want to establish that real quick. But this is um this is on ChristianProphecyBlog.org, and it says 40% of U.S. adults believe we are living in the end times. All right, it says not too long ago, and this guy said not too long ago I was speaking in El Paso, Texas, which is it's ironic because this is where I'm at. He said I was sitting in the hotel lobby waiting for my ride when I heard a young woman, Slakia, working the front desk, ask her coworker if she thought God was coming back soon. Obviously, hearing a question like that caught my attention. She did not know who I was or why I was there, but I turned and faced her and asked her, "Do you think he is?" She answered, "With all that is happening in the world, I think he has to be coming back soon." This is all we need to, really read about here. You can read the rest of it. The Spirit leads you to, you know. But like it says here, 40% of U.S. adults believe we're living in the end times. And this is what further led to this movie. You can see the cast here, Leave the World Behind cast, Julie Roberts, Ethan Hawke from Training Day, this guy, however you would pronounce, which I first seen him in his role as Cottonmouth in that Luke Cage series on Netflix. Okay, you got this chick here who was from who I initially seen in Black Mirror. Okay, Kevin Bacon. He's been around for a minute, and then whoever this little Sheetamite girl is, she might be a Jake, but basically she was a Sheetamite in the movie. All right, to the Sheetamite couple between these two. Even though this guy might also be a Jake, but nonetheless, this is the cast here. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. The first thing I noticed in that movie is when this guy here, okay, I call him Cottonmouth from Luke Cage, but this guy here had mentioned how it's a conspiracy theory, or the idea of a shadowy people ruling the earth. Theory, okay, case in point. Now let's further prove that's not. It's because him mentioning that is a part of Esau's predictive programming to use that comment as a smokescreen, to keep people asleep and question that there are higher luminaries running the world. This is prophesied in Isaiah the 14th chapter, going into the parable of Lucifer, the light bearers. Because these devils believe they have the light, which is symbolic of wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Which theirs is sensual and devilish, like it says in St. James third chapter. Through the Western philosophy promoting sodomy, feminism, okay, which is modern day Queen of Heaven, Semiramis worship. You know, uh, the you know the the contrary, you know, uh, promotion of the opposite of the dietary laws, promoting all kinds of swine through the bacon and so forth, you know, all manners of madness is being promoted here. Case in point. And these devils are behind it. So this is on SG SGTreport.com, and it's entitled Rothschild says World Economic Forum will soon control what users purchase in new cashless society. You see, and you can see the Rothschilds here. It says the head of the Rothschild banking dynasty has ordered world governments to accelerate the implementation of cashless societies and has boosted that World Economic Forum controlled artificial intelligence, AI, will soon dictate what the public can and can't do with their own money. You know, and this is why down in Australia they've been pushing cashless societies. Because that's another EU partner, okay, of America, Babylon the Great, okay, the part of this beast system. Case in point. All right. So this is the agenda that they're publicizing, because what they're doing is they're uh, they're falling on their own tongue. Their own tongues have befallen them, because their generation refers to it as dry snitching. What Esau's doing is he's dry snitching on himself, because he's one of them. He's one of them. How they say in the world, he's one of them smart stupid niggas. Okay, he's so smart he's stupid, like it says in Ezekiel the 20th chapter. He's wiser than Daniel. Okay, he thinks he has it all figured out, but Yahweh Shemeshai has him in a trick bag, man. Okay, he has him. There's this part of derision spoken about in Psalm the second chapter, because he devils don't have shit figured out. Speaking of World Economic Forum, a report that came out entitled "World Economic Forum orders governments to arrest whistleblowers who expose depopulation agenda." And this is why in the movie, this guy, Cottonmouth here, had mentioned he had mentioned people not learning even to their expense is a darkness. And that goes into Second Corinthians 4:4. How the prince of the air, the god of this world, Shaitan, and his physical counterpart Esau, Edom, has blinded the minds of the simple, blinded the minds of the people to marvel after this beast system. That's why they believe in the politics of voting, feminism, you know, the alphabet mafia. And if you speak out against that, these people really demonize you, and they really look at you funny, because they're drunk off that wine of fornication. That Babylonian juice of this Western philosophy of America, Babylon the Great. Okay, and that's why this place is considered a whore. Okay, the hammer of the entire earth is going to be destroyed. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Yeah, so then he went on to say, this guy Cottonmouth went on to say, there is no going back to normal, and he's exactly right. So we're going to get this first precept in Daniel chapter 12. Matter of fact, let me get First John 2:17. It says, "And the world passeth away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High God, Yahweh abideth forever." Because these are the friends of Yahweh Shemeshai. These are the friends that we should know. Okay, because it's because man's going to the Lord. So when all hell breaks loose, we may be by ourselves. We may be in a company, in a group. Either way, whoever we stumble across is who Yahweh Shemeshai will bless us to stumble across. Okay, like Denzel in the Book of Eli, he was solo, but the Lord sent him a woman. Okay, for him to to abide by, which is further symbolic of Isaiah 4:1. These women are going to be seeking the righteous men of the Lord. Okay, because they're going to know what a true man is. Not how not not a Stone Cold Steve Austin looking motherfucker that bench presses 300, 300, 400 pounds. A man that gets all the bitches. No, these women are gonna know true men when our hell breaks loose. When the stakes are high, they're gonna know by the righteous vibration, the glow of that man, that he's a man of God, the Most High God Yahweh, and he is who she's gonna want to cleave onto. You see, like it says in Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, It says, a man should be a covering place from darkness, roughly paraphrased. But anyway, this is Daniel 12:1. It says, and at that time shall Ma'aka Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. And these people in the world not going to be delivered because their name is written in the earth. And that's why we pray that we're not of that stead, but rather of the remnant. Because that's why we're supposed to make our calling election sure. Okay, by a fear of the Lord, our fear of the world is further diminished. You see, and this is what's going to save us, our measure of faith. Okay, through the fear of the plagues of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah consuming the wicked. So, and then the other part is when they mention cyber attacks, and that's when these cyber attacks started happening in the movie, and as a result, the stock market started crashing. And that's why they have said that the first step of this new world order agenda is isolation, including cyber attacks, shutting down the border. Which speaking of which, you see here, this report here, Arizona, going to how Arizona has shut down the border. As you see here, it says it's reported Arizona border crossing closes after influx of migrants. I'm going to play this clip for use.
The busiest ports of entry at the southern. This weekend, Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs visited one of the busiest ports of entry at the southern border. The Lukeville crossing has been closed due to a recent surge of migrants beyond what Border Patrol agents can handle. Hobbs is demanding more resources from the Biden administration. CBS's Adam Yamaguchi is in Lukeville for a first-hand look.
Every day last week, hundreds of migrants gathered to turn themselves over to border agents at the Lukeville crossing in Arizona, near a port of entry that was officially closed Monday due to the massive number of arrivals.
It's daybreak, and so after a long, cold night of sleeping around campfires, trying to sleep around campfires, the processing may begin momentarily.
This mother of four tells us she's escaping the violence of Mexican cartels.
I'm fighting as much as I can so my children can have something better.
This is one of the border's most remote stretches, now one of the busiest. In the last year, there's been a 140% spike in migrant apprehensions in this area. Our cameras captured the moment smugglers helped dozens of people cross illegally.
And there the smugglers go. This is the breach in the wall that the smugglers have cut through, and this is what the Border Patrol is up against. And this is not an anomaly by any means. Here's another one, Rod, that was just cut and repaired today. Agents are really sort of playing a game of whack-a-mole. They see a breach, they respond to it, they try to seal it up, and then somewhere else along this very long corridor of the wall, another breach occurs. And this is all by design. The smugglers realize that this particular area is vulnerable because there are so few resources and agents. And so they stand a much better chance of being able to funnel as many migrants as they can illegally into the U.S.
Yeah,
Adam Yamaguchi, CBS News, Lukeville, Arizona.
Like he said, it's all about design. That's through the spirit that he said that. It's all about design, man. This is all part of Esau's Hegelian dialectic. Okay, pressure from below, pressure from above, pressure from below. Order out of chaos. Okay, so this goes into the isolation aspect of, the three steps they mentioned in this movie, Leave the World Behind, of shutting down this current monetary system. Now that went into isolation, including these cyber attacks, shutting down the borders, because they're gonna blame our people, for what's going on. That's what they're trying to tie us to Hamas and all this other madness. Because we're not ignorant, we devil's devices, man. We know the persecution is coming. All right. So speaking of border. This is on KXXV.com. It says more than 13,000 migrants bust out of El Paso in the past few months, and they've been shipping these so-called migrants, mainly the Northern Kingdom, to these sanctuary cities. Basically, these cities in America, Babylon the Great, they have these policies to not hold the immigration status against these so-called migrants, and that includes New York, New Jersey, Illinois. Fred mentioned here in this article. So. So it says, El Paso, Texas, El Paso Matters. Genesis sat on the steps as to the Spirit. Genesis sat on the steps of the Union Depot in downtown El Paso early last week, watching as dozens of recently arrived migrants like herself board buses waiting to transport them out of the region. She wouldn't be among them, she regretted. There's a mix with the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Esau persecution. That's further, persecution of Esau. That's pretty much all we need to know right there. So jumping down, her name is Genesis. Further going to, Romans 12 speaks about how our people have a zeal for the Most High, just not of knowledge. So a lot of Israelites have these biblical names. Isaiah, Jesus, Genesis case, Andrew, John, Albert, Ephraim. A lot of Northern Kingdom Jakes and called Ephraim or named Ephraim, from Ephraim. So just for example, further revealing who the true lost 12 tribe of Israel are. But anyway, trying to find that part to see if they mentioned the. Yep, it says in all, more than 13,000 migrants have been bused in New York City, Chicago, and Denver from El Paso through charter since late September, and these are sanctuary cities. The county of El Paso is still operating as Migrant Support Services Center, which helps arrange travel for migrants who have funds to go to other cities. So that situation. This is why it came out. It had come out. Let me see, Salakia. Let me find this. There's a similar article that came out about that migrant situation. Give me just 1 second. I'll be able to pull it up. Yep, Chicago area suburbs reject busloads of immigrants arriving from Texas. All right, Shalaki is bad this element. All right. Let me see. Yeah, U.S. southern border at breaking point as 5,000 legal migrants released to country each day. So Esau is going to use this migrant situation, the so-called migrant surge, to further incite the fear and these Babylonians in America who marvel after this beast system to believe that their national security is being threatened by these so-called migrants. Another reason why that is because it's been reported as recently, certain brothers been, reported this as well, how Esau's been allowing these so-called African and these so-called, in this case, these Hamite and Moabite men of military age through the border, because a good number of them are mercenaries. So whatever Esau has planned for them, they're going to further tie it into the so-called migrants, of the Northern Kingdom specifically, further demonize them and justify shutting down the border. Okay, regulating human experience, through digital currency and AI, of AI, what I'm saying, and so forth. So it all ties into their agenda. You see, further confirms that we are living in the last days. All right, so get this next precept, and I'm gonna go back to First John 2:17, because further confirms that we're living in the end times of the so-called Antichrist, the anti-anointed ones. These Zionist bankers and these lower-level luminaries, and this would include the Obamas. And this is why it's not a coincidence that they produced this movie, because Obama had a movie named after him called Barry, and in that movie Barry on Netflix, there's a scene where he comes across an Israelite group. They look like the old Wild West, Jakes, dress up in black. A lot of them dress up in black, combat boots, spikes, and all that. And there was a scene where he came across them, and and one of the Jakes, I think the main speaker said, he told a Shedemite, "Shut your mouth, cave bitch." And then the guy Barry, the movie that represented Obama, because Barry short for Barack, right? So Obama's character named Barry, the movie, so-called checked the Hebrew Israelites, put them in their place, or whatever. And that's why it's not a coincidence that he produced this movie, because he's an insider. He's another so-called Antichrist, anti-anointed one, telling their downfall on the left-hand side. I'm gonna get into why that is in a second. This is 1 John 2:17. And the world passed away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High God, Yahweh, abide forever. Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that anti-anointed one shall come, even now are there many anti-anointed ones, whereby we know that it is the last time. It's the last time these devils will be ruling this earth. Okay. Which is why the frequency of this earth is so off, because these devils have been ruling for so long, man. Okay. Since that deadly wound was healed of the pagan Greco-Roman Empire, they have resurfaced, man. Okay. They've been destroying every goddamn thing, the water, the food. You know what I'm saying? This is why there's a report. Let me see if I got it here. There's a report of some kind of animal. Matter of fact, let me see. Slovakia. Let me see. Might be on the other device. All right, Salak. So let me see where it's at real quick. Okay, I think I know where it's at. All right, so there was like a dolphin or something like that, like a 52-foot dolphin that came up, like just rose up on the shore somewhere. Yep, it says on AP News, it says 52-foot long dead fish. So like a 52-foot long dead fin whale washes up on San Diego Beach, cause of death unclear, because these devils are contaminating the water, okay, with harmful chemicals and metals. That's why the coral reef is jacked up. They poison the air with harmful chemicals and metals and chemtrails. So a lot of these birds are dropping out of the damn sky. You see? And that's why, speaking of that, in the movie, Leave the World Behind movie, a whole like horde of deer show up. And then the little girl, little Sheetamite girl, this character here, all right, Rosie in the movie has said it was like the deer were trying to communicate with them, to tell them something. Because what does it say in Jeremiah 12:4? You see? How these even the animals cry to Yahweh Shemir Shai. Esau's rulership. You see? Through the spirit. And this is why, that movie Through the Spirit was entitled Leave the World Behind, because Esau's world is crumbling. It's the second Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay? Esau, Edom, or the modern day Romans, the modern day Europeans, and they brought their pagan Greco-Roman customs, their customs and traditions of Satan from Europe over here to America, Babylon the Great. Okay? Federalized some of them and even established them as annual holidays on their Roman Gregorian calendar, prophesied in Daniel 7:25. Okay, this is why the earth was given to the hands of the. They brought evil into earth out of envy of the Lord, and that's why they want to play God on earth by controlling everything, even their downfall by prophesying this. This is how delusional Esau is. This is 2 Ezra 6:7. It says, "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth?" You see, parting asunder of the times going to prophecy. All right, the measure of the parting in the asunder of the times is prophecy, the testimony of our Malak, our Lord, Hamashiach Habashai, who the master of the world ignorantly referred to Jesus Christ. You see, so even Esau trying to control this on the left hand side, because they're prophets of Baal, and that's why they resurrected the temple of Baal in New York 7 years ago. 2 Ezra 6:8 says, "And he said it to me from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau." This is further symbolic of the downfall of Esau, Edom. Okay, which he has contributed to his own downfall. Okay, for foretelling his own downfall, through predictive programming, like it says in Job 15, it says, "Thy own mouth condemneth thee, and not I." In Job 15 verses 5-6, and this is why this precept here, Sirach 28:18, it says, "Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not so many as have fallen by the tongue." All right, so we never quite seen an empire fall, by, the further, revelation of its wickedness. Okay, from the very tongues of those who rule it. Okay, the rulers of the darkness of this world. Okay, the shadowy government, like they mentioned in the movie. Okay, those who seek deep to hide their counts from the Lord, the Yahweh Shemeshai, mentioned in Isaiah the 64th chapter, who commune of laying snares privily, you see, through these distractions, these smoke screens, these diversion tactics, like this comment that Jake made in the movie, like, the idea that, the shadowy people runs the world is a conspiracy theory. We just further confirm this epistle that that's not a conspiracy theory, but rather a conspiracy, because the prefix of word conspiracy is conspire, and that's what Esau's been doing. Like it says in Psalm 36 chapter, how he conspires mischief on his bed, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, he's always looking to shoot fiery darts at the wicked, and a dart is an attack. Okay, through his policies, through his biochemical and biological warfare. Okay, through these negative frequencies and his satanic, demonic ass music. You know, Elder Pascabar did a video on that earlier. Reminds me of John Todd. That's another aspect of this agenda. That's why John Todd, a former Satanist, had exposed the wickedness of the music industry. How these devils, these warlocks gather in a some kind of circle, and they pray satanic prayers over the music, especially heavy metal and shit like that, and they release it into the atmosphere. You see, to keep people on a certain frequency, a brutish frequency. You see, this is why we battle spiritual wickedness in high places. Case in point, So this is 2nd Ezra 14 and 17. All right, 2nd Ezra 14 and 17. And it reads, Salakia. All right, 2nd Ezra 14 and 17 reads, "For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein." And the world is getting weaker through age because of the evils be increasing them, because the hearts of evil men waxing worse and worse. And that's why the movie is called, Flee from This World. You see? So I can leave the world behind, because we're in this paradigm shift of the downfall of the world of the wicked, okay, within the transition world of the righteous, okay, because righteousness is immortal, is eternal, like it says in the Apocrypha. That's why you devils are not eternal. You're not immortal. If you're chasing immortality through your own demonic means, through transhumanism and so forth, you're gonna fail. Okay, so I'm going to footnote. So back in the 3 steps they mentioned in the movie: isolation, cyber attacks, shutting down the borders, whatnot. The second step was synchronized chaos. Okay, including these covert attacks, these psyops, through the shootings and whatnot. All right, to further, justify shutting down the society. Coming after people's guns, and so forth. Leading up into the third and final step, which was further revealed in the movie, as civil war. From the second step, of these covert attacks, synchronized chaos. Okay, through these coups. You see, and this is why it was reported here. Pentagon investigating nearly 200 soldiers they suspect are advocating or supporting the overthrow of the U.S. government. Okay, whether they're sincerely doing it or they've been given orders to do it, it doesn't matter either way. It is to the spirit of power held by Shemeshai. Further dividing Babylon. All right, and you can peep the comments here. It says the Pentagon is investigating nearly. Okay, I already read that. It says they have the constitutional right to do so. I pray for God's protection for these people and for his wrath upon the evil regime we are under. See, so people are anti-establishment more and more in these last days. And this is why Esau is speaking out against his own wickedness to try to control the narrative, which is really a counterproductive tactic, because really what you're doing is you're further exposing the fact that you're the goddamn devil. This is why more people are speaking out against you. All right. That's why the Spirit of the Lord is getting on these devils to put out these predictive programming, series and shows and movies like Blade Runner, Terminator series, especially Terminator 2, Handmaid's Tale, Minority Report with Tom Cruise, the movie Rumors of Wars. That's another must watch because that goes directly to the chip. All right, Rumors of Wars, they took off of Netflix. There's a whole bunch of them, man. Bird Box with Sandra Bland that came out a few years ago. That's another must watch. Going into how people, going to St. Luke 21 and 25 and 26, are people going to bug out? The distress of men in the minds of mankind is going to fail them. Okay, but by way of the society around them crumbling, because these devils, because this evil regime, this individual mentioned here, Somebody else said it is their duty to protect Americans from a corrupt government. You see, what does it say? Second Ezra the 6th chapter. Corruption is overpassed. You see why you devils being exposed. Imagine that. What do you expect when you have a lying, corrupt government? That's what this movie was about. The corrupt regime of these devils. All right. So those were the 3 steps they mentioned in the movie. And that's why, part of that was there was a scene where this guy, Ethan Hawke, is driving, Clay in the movie is driving, and there was a drone that was releasing like these Chinese banners. And on these Chinese banners, it had like encrypted like Cantonese writings on there. And then this guy, where is he at? Let me see. There's not a picture for him, but his son. I'm not sure why they're not showing his picture. As a matter of fact, let me see. Yeah, no, they don't show him there either. His name might have been Charlie, whatever her brother's name was. So anyway, Ethan Hawke's son, which is her brother, said he said, "Oh, you know what that says?" When Ethan Hawke came in the house with the little Chinese banner, he said, Ethan Hawke's son said, he said that means death to America. So that was very interesting because they mentioned death to America, with the red dragon on there, and then they attributed it to Iran. All right, and they said trying to think of what they had said. Oh yeah, they attributed to Iran, and they said, oh, that's what they attributed that saying to Iran, to the so-called Muslims. You see, that's another subliminal Esau doing there because under the FBI coded what was that shit called? Composed in 1999, Project Megiddo. They have us listed on there with these terrorist groups. Okay, the Muslim, these terrorist groups that they have classified as such, like KKK. They have some Muslim groups on there, and they have BHI, Black Hebrew Israelites. So not ignorant, we dealt with devices. We know that the accused of our brethren are going to be casted down. So this goes into the famine of the word, which is one of the next major prophecies, how they're going to demonize us, man, for being out there. Okay, and within the gates of the nobles, the nobility of Edom, prophesying against him, prophesying against Mount Seir, telling him he's going down, he's going to captivity for 1,000 years for all the wickedness he's been doing, and his blasphemies, and many blasphemies against the Holy Spirit of Yahweh by Shemeshai. Okay, so that was another very interesting thing that I noticed in the movie. The whole death to America thing. And then they had mentioned the cyber attacks. Okay, and how the cyber attacks, was supposedly, they had led to, have been done by hackers that they blamed on Iran and Russia and so forth. And they had China in the movie pushing rhetoric on China's behalf, regarding that "Dead to America" slogan. You see, so cyber attacks another major thing, which leads into this other article that came out, and it says here, the AtlasNews.com. It says Chinese military hackers increasing attacks against American infrastructure. Okay. Oddly enough, this report the same day I watched the movie. So I ended up watching the movie on Sunday night. So it says the Chinese military is increasing its capabilities to hack into and disrupt key infrastructure across the United States. I watched it. I watched it on Monday. It says the Chinese military is increasing its capabilities to hack into and disrupt key infrastructure across the U.S., such as power, water, communications, and transportation systems. The Washington Post has reported, citing government officials and security experts. That's why in that movie, when Julie Roberts is walking, there's a scene where there's just mad random cars just running into each other because of the EMP attack, the cyber attack that they blamed on Iran and China and so forth. And then that's why this guy, Kevin Bacon's character, Danny, has said, oh well, the cyber attacks was either on behalf of the Chinese or the North Koreans, one of those two. Why they put that in the movie? Because they're gonna blame these EMP attacks on their enemies, mainly Iran, China, Russia, and so forth. And they've done this before. Okay, and that leads into another major prophecy. Okay, and that's blackouts. Okay, darkness in Babylon the Great. You know, Isaiah 24:10 says, "The city of confusion is broken down; every house is shut up, that no man may come in." Okay, because people are not going to be really knowing where they're going anyway. Okay, because of the darkness here. All right, these devils shutting down everything. This is Second Ezra 15-17. Says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." All right, because they're gonna have military checkpoints. Okay, you're gonna have checkpoints to the Karagma. Okay, perhaps even of the dragon juice, and that's why they're gonna use this whole migrant surge situation to shut down, justify shutting down the border. That goes into the darkness as well. Okay, and the isolation aspect of their agenda. You know, so and this is why in the scripture says First Thessalonians 5:3, because this is gonna be like a snowball effect. Okay, and this can happen anytime, man. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape," because these people are asleep, distracted by the affairs of this life, including these pagan holidays. The little Christmas tree in the background, worshiping Nimrod and his phallus. Semiramis, Tammuz. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately worshiping Baal, Molech. Shaitan. Okay, it's a pagan avenue, Shaitan worship, spiritual demon Shaitan. These people are distracting and worshiping these devils. These devils here are conspiring to destroy the vast majority. Okay, seeking him to devour as many as they possibly can. Okay, but they cannot deceive the very elect, because the elect are going to be covered under the pavilion of Yahweh Shemashai, the shelter of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai through His name. Okay, so that's why it's very paramount and vital to call the names of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, because because we're going to need divine intervention these last days. All right, case in point. Give me 1 second, Bob Shah. I thought I had to sneeze, Slakia. Yes, anyway. This is Isaiah 47. Let's start at verse 5. It says, "Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans." The modern Chaldeans, these warlocks, all right, these Zionist bankers, man, the shot callers. So it's not a conspiracy theory that they're running everything. They run the pornography industry. They run the entertainment industry. This is why the music is trash, because in the 80s, when there was conscious, hip hop out there, with Public Enemy, KRS-One, Marley Marl, and a few other cats was out there, pushing so-called positivity of conscious awareness of our enemy. Fight the powers about Esau, rising up against Esau. Esau like, hell no, we can't have that. So they counteracted it with gangster rap. That's why Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, all fucking sellouts, insiders. Because we give a lot of movie deals and endorsements and so forth, because they sold out. See, it's another part of their darkness. But it says, "Sit thou silent and get into the darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst shew them no mercy. Upon an ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke." All right, in the ancient, mentioned Isaiah 45:4, and similar other precepts is Jake Yasharallah. Okay, including the Northern Kingdom, including the Gadites in the Northern Kingdom, who have been here, okay, for years, thousands of years. The true founding fathers of America, Babylon the Great, before you devils invaded it. Right, as the conquistadors, the Spaniards, and so forth, during the Spanish Inquisition and such. Okay, so you polluted the inheritance of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, through your moral decrees like the Indian Removal Acts under Andrew to kill Jackson, Andrew, the Indian killer Jackson, rather, the Trail of Tears, you know, the 13 to 14 amendments. You devils have a lot to pay for, man. Okay, you have because you have further fulfilled Psalm 83rd chapter of looking to remove the uh, remembrance of Israel from the earth. Okay, and associate and you know falsely associate yourselves with our history because you're ashamed of yours that you were low down vile profane Edomites with no salt. Okay, no modern day salt, no swag. And that's why Julie Roberts called herself dancing to that song by RL. You know that "Baby Why You Crying" song. Complete Edomite, man. No rhythm, no swag. Then you see the Jake, the Jake grooving and you know what I'm saying, getting his dance on and shit. Cause that Jake got the salt. That was another funny subliminal they put in the movie too. How they rely on us, they further rely on us um, to entertain them to further generate revenue off of us. That's all we are to them, scapegoats. Okay, modern day minstrel show performers where Jake, would perform for Esau. That's why these devils put on blackface. That's where blackface originates back to. Okay, so you have looked to pollute the heritage of the Lord in so many ways, man. Okay, through the CIA drug war scandal, you have a lot to pay for. Okay, from the top, I was wroth with my people, I have polluted my inheritance, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst shew them no mercy upon the ancient, hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Verse 7. As thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. You didn't consider your latter end. You didn't because you thought you was gonna rule forever until Yahweh Shai comes descends back into this realm like a thief in the night, okay, and wages war on you devils, man. Well, you're gonna be hiding under your bunkers like bitches, like they mentioned in that movie. But a little sheet of my girl here, Rosie, found the underground bunker. You see, because they're telling people what they're going to be doing. Prophesying Revelation 6th chapter, hiding underground from Yahweh Shai and the angels, man. You see, that's why this bitch Khloe Kardashian uh, came out with an underground bunker and being bragging about it to her fans because she's another illuminary witch. Okay, a lower level illuminary witch. Anyway, Isaiah 47:8. Therefore, hear now this thou that are given to pleasures that dwellest carelessly, that says in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. This is the mentality of the Edomites. Okay, and all those under the enchantments. Okay, Isaiah 47:9. Here's the point. But these shall come to thee in a moment and one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. So for your witchcraft, you're going to be visited through by the plagues of the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah like you are right now. Okay, pestilence. Okay, a plethora of pestilences. Okay, rumors of wars. Including this one here. Okay, report on Newsweek. Iran fires ominous explosion warning to United States and Israel. Then they were also reported, as you see here, Iran-linked cyber attacks threatened equipment used in U.S. water systems and factories. So it's not a coincidence they mentioned Iran doing the same thing in the movie because it's all predictive programming. That's why it's not a coincidence. This article came out around the time where this movie, Leave the World Behind, came out. All predictive programming. Salakia. All right, I'm going to move forward. Another thing they mentioned in the movie. One of these guys might have been either Kevin Bacon. Actually, there's one of these three guys. Kevin Bacon's character, Danny. This guy, I call him Cottonmouth from Luke Cage, or even Ethan Hawke's character had mentioned how America has made a lot of enemies across the world. So maybe they decided to team up. And that was another key, point they mentioned in the movie because they are going to team up against you devils. There's nothing you could do about it. All right. That's why the former Edomite general Mark Milley admitted that their defense systems cannot deflect the hypersonic weapons of China and Russia. So you're fucked, man. Like it says in Jeremiah 49 chapter, okay, you're gonna be surrounded, man. This is Habakkuk 2:8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land of the city and of all that dwell therein. Because America are takers. Okay, they're not givers. That's why they're one of the biggest importers on the earth. Because they don't export shit. You know, that's why this place is a whore. This place has been used for the sovereign interests of these nations to use this place as a mecca of trade, international trade, through the petrodollar. But now these nations have figured out how to bypass the petrodollar mainly through the petro yen of China. Okay, and that's why Saudi Arabia made their first oil purchase through Chinese yen. So that further goes into the contributions of the downfall of this current national American system. That's why the American debt is over $33 trillion in debt, over $33.5 trillion in debt. That's why the stock market is eventually going to crash, as they mentioned in the movie. You see, that's why down here in Texas they reported that there's major bank foreclosures in certain bank branches. You see, there's a lot more of these banks are going to foreclose. And that's why they're replacing a lot of the ATMs with ITMs. You see, they're promoting the internet way of things. Okay, that's why cybernetics is happening. You know, where things in the internet, within the internet side of things is shutting down. Okay, due to cyber attacks. From cyber attacks, they're going to blame on their enemies. You see, all these war provocations are going to eventually get America nuked, and it's all prophesied in scriptures, man. And this is why all these things are happening. Because these nations are tired of you. All right. And this is why here in Jeremiah 50 and 14, it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All you that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. All right. So it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, all of America's enemies, are going to have the way with her. Jeremiah 15:15. Shout again round about. She had given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord, Yahweh, about Shem Yashai. Take vengeance upon her. Do it to her. So you devils invading the lands of these other nations, exacerbating resources, eliminating their leaders, setting up, replacing them with puppet interim presidents. Like what you try to do in Venezuela by eliminating Nicolas Maduro with a drone, replacing him with Juan Guaido, a terror. But you failed. Just to further reveal your wicked agenda, man. Now you can never be keepers of home because you don't have a home. You devils are vagabonds, man. See? And your glory is in your devices, your satanic devices, that are even further befalling you, like it's prophesied in Psalm the 10th chapter. Case in point. So I'm going to continue. And let me see here. Second, let me go ahead and get St. Matthew. There was a part in the movie where Cottonmouth has said, he says, people not learning even to their expense of darkness. I mentioned that earlier. That lines up with 2 Corinthians 4:4. Okay. I'm going to grab that real quick. 2 Corinthians 4, verse 4. It says, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High God Yahweh, should shine into them. That's why these people are in darkness, because they love darkness. They love lies, through the fortune of lies. Like the song in the 80s, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. People want to be coddled, they want to be patronized, they want to be, they don't want to be, and that's why they don't want to be held accountable for their actions. Because Esau's promoted that there's death culture. Okay, that's why the women are out of order, the men are faggots, the women are harlots, the children are demonic, and you know what I'm saying? Everything is turned up. That's because the devil turned his world upside down because he is of the Antichrist, anti-anointed ones. He is not anointed. He's not the chosen of the Lord, even despite his proclamations of being as such. That's why he's blinding the minds of them. Okay, because he's blinding the minds of them by neglecting the light of the glorious gospel. They don't push the gospel here because everything they push is contrary to the gospel. And that's why these people are blind. They're gonna be caught off guard when our hell breaks loose out here. See? So I'm going to continue. And this is why we're supposed to unconform from this world. This is Romans 12:2. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High God Yahweh. And that's the duties of all men. Rehearsing the righteous law, statutes, commandments of the Lord, Yahweh by Shem and Shai. Okay? And within this journey, this walk, this the straight and narrow gate of righteousness, okay, whatever leaven that we have still in us, okay, from our old men in the world, pursuing the Ephesians 4th chapter, will be purged from us to the Holy Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh by Shem and Shai, to further refine us. That's why scriptures say, search out, one of King, I think it's one of King David or King Solomon's prayers said, search me out, O Lord, to see if there's any wicked way in me. Because, Lord knows, man, our righteousness is filthy rags. We're not righteous, man. We're because our righteousness is filthy rags. We're fuck ups in this flesh. And this is where the grace factor kicks in, where it factors in, because the elect is still perfect in the Lord's eyes. To know that so we can remain on edge. You see? Because these people definitely don't have that mentality. This is why they're going to turn on themselves. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 18. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So when the stakes are high and there's a scarcity of resources, these so-called neighbors are going to turn on each other. They're going to turn on each other like there's no tomorrow, because they're not operating off the frequency, the high frequency of the gospel, the glorious light of the gospel from above. Like it says in 1 Samuel, the 2nd chapter. This is why it says here, St. Matthew 24 and 12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, iniquity sin upon sin. These people drink it like water, just like Esau does. That's why the servant and his master should be punished likewise. Roughly paraphrasing Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 11. See? Because the majority of people on this earth are they're undesirables, lies and vanity to the Lord. Now to fear the Lord, we pray we're not one of them. We pray we're not of that great majority or vast majority. Because these people already don't have any love for each other. This is why Julie Robertson said she hates people. What she say? She said she hates people, but would do anything to have them back because a great death is coming. You see? So let me go ahead and grab that. 2 Ezra 16 and 22. All right, Salak. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay, civil war, utter pandemonium out here, utter anarchy. All right, verse 23 says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung. Okay, and there is feces shit. Okay, like it says in Jeremiah 25th chapter. And there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. All right, it'd be like Mad Max. It'd be like that movie Mad Max, just complete, desert and death out here, decay. All right, Salakia. 2 Ezra 16 and 24 says, there shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. You see, you get a farming industry is going to be a compromise, like what's going on down there in France and the Netherlands. But the farming, that in the Netherlands, they've been forced. They're under harsh restrictions in regards to the farming industry. That's why down there in France, they're going through a similar situation where they're protesting against the French government through by pouring by using cow manure, to to defile certain territories down there. See, that's why these devils like Gates, Bill Gates is buying up apple cider vinegar to change the ingredients. Okay, buying up a lot of farmlands and such, so they can further discourage people from growing their own food and from the crops and whatnot, being self-reliant and relying on these devils. See, continuing on, verse 25. The tree shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. All right. Just like that movie, The Road, when they're walking, it's like no one in sight. 2 Ezra 16:27. So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. So all these people that hate each other now, they're not going to be in that mentality when our hell breaks loose. Okay, the majority of them are just going to yearn to hear another man's voice. It's going to be so much death out here. You see, and that's what's coming to America, Babylon the Great. That's what's here. That's going to further manifest. That the Lord Yahweh Shem Shah is going to open up the floodgates of hell on this place, and that's what that movie, Leave This World Behind, was about. Okay, unconforming from the wickedness of this world, Esau's world, because his world is going to be visible with terrible plagues. Okay, to transition us over to the new world in 2 Peter 3rd chapter. Okay, the righteous world under the dominion of Hamashiach Yahushai and the saints. All right, and this is why Julie Roberts' character, Amanda, I mentioned the movie, how she had sent her husband, Clay, out to get a newspaper or just to find someone who that he could talk to see what was going on, to make sense of what was going on. That goes into Isaiah 24:11. How there should be a cry for wine in the streets. Wine is symbolic of wisdom, knowledge, understanding. So you people are going to be looking for any kind of explanation as to why our hell is broken loose. When the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Shai been in the highways and hedges for decades now, really centuries, but in this modern day age, decades since the 60s. Okay, prophesying all the things that were mentioned in that movie. Leave the world behind. Isaiah 24:11 says, there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. See? That's why in certain places they're protesting. They're not indulging in these so-called Christmas celebrations because the joy is darkening here. People are on the verge of being evicted, record-breaking numbers. They can't afford these so-called Christmas gifts because of the hyperinflation. As a further result of these military investment into a military budget through these proxy wars, further further resulting in hyperinflation. Okay, job cuts. So mirth is not really in the minds of these the vast majority of these people anymore. These Babylonians, and they're gonna be in the streets crying for wine, begging for answers. But the government is not going to answer them because the government in the Latin tongue, gubanati, means control the mental, the mind control. They want to control the minds of the people through their devices, man. And this is why Cottonmouth in the movie, this guy, okay, has said shadowy people, the idea of shadowy people running the world is conspiracy theory. Ain't no conspiracy theory. So you can put that smoke screen, you continue to put those smoke screens out there, but these people are going to know. Okay, they're also going to know that a prophet was amongst them. You see? So I pretty much the footnotes. I bring out a few more precepts. Because these people love sleep. And they've been sleeping so long that when they're forced to wake out of that sleep, it's going to be too late for them. Proverbs 20:13, love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty, open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. This spiritual bread, this word. That's why Yahushua said in what's that, St. Luke the 6th chapter, it said, eating my flesh indeed and drinking my blood indeed. Meaning what? Eat the entire roll, digest his word spiritually, read. Like it says in Revelation 1st chapter, blessed is he who readeth. These people dusted off the dust from their Bibles, you know what I'm saying, and read it with sincerity and fear and trembling of the Lord, then perhaps he would open up their minds of understanding. And this is only a righteous lecture for the elect of Israel. But these people don't even make their calling election short to even do these things. That's why they're not going to be satisfied with spiritual bread or even actual bread. Okay, in the midst of this famine. Okay, they love sleep. That's why they're going to come to poverty, spiritual poverty and natural poverty. Okay, this is why in Proverbs 27:7 it says this: the full soul loatheth and honeycomb. All right, loatheth meaning they tread down. They can never have enough. All right, but that's really going into Esau. It says here, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. You see, so people are going to be so desperate for food and water, man. They're going to be willing to do anything. See, and these devils know that. This is why they're going that normacy bias is out, and this is why Cottonmouth had mentioned the movie. There is no going back to normal. He said that in the movie. There's no going back to normal, man. And then Julie Roberts' character, Amanda, said, "Oh, don't say that, because women are emotional. You know, they're destitute of wisdom, and they're all about comfort. That's why they say comfort destroys kings. You see, so it's not always about comfort, man. You know, case in point. But these people in the world, they just it's all about comfort for them. You know, like the elder brother Amawan Gabar was going into one of his lessons, one of his last lessons in a car. He often does. He was going to how, hey man, it's emotions that tell us to eat ice cream and shit like that. And not that that's wicked, but it's our emotions that cause us to do these things, like eat ice cream and shit that tastes good to please our flesh. But you know what's lawful is not always expedient, like it says in scripture. That's why these people don't have that. They don't have that discipline, man. They don't have that mentality, okay, of being more absent in flesh and more present in spirit. That's why when our hell breaks loose, they're not going to have the stability in their minds for the wisdom and knowledge of the scriptures, man. They're written aforetime for our learning, for us to have hope. Percent of Romans 15th chapter. That's why they're going to be out to fend for themselves, man. It's going to be terrible out here, man. Okay, like never before seen. There's one thing to speak about it and prophesy about it, but it's another thing to envision it. You know, like I was watching Elder Pascabar and Bishop Shakaran earlier, and they were going into that. Envision, if we should envision, we should often get into the habit more on envisioning what we read. Okay, first and foremost, myself included. Speaking these things at this point, you know, because we're going to be more spiritually stable than these people out in the world, because they don't care to know what's going on right now, because everything appears to be normal. Running water, just water's still running for the most. Electricity is still on, gas is still flowing, until those things are taken away from them. Then we're going to see the snakes, the serpents of these people manifested. You see, that's why Yahushua said, "I pray for them. I pray not for the world." In St. John the 17th chapter. See, he doesn't give a damn about the world. All right, that's why he's coming to save the elect from his world. And he's already saved them through his word. All right, the love and the truth of his word, man. These people don't have the love of the truth. They love themselves, man. All right. What's that? St. Matthew 24:35. It says, "Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away." All right. So Esau's heaven, which is his condition of rulership, is going to pass away. Because as it says in Ecclesiastes 1, the earth abideth forever. So this planet Earth is not going to be destroyed. Esau's heaven and earth as his rulership is going to fade away. It's going to fade to black. Because it's doing that now because the spirit of bondage is failing this devil, modern day Egypt. No one, in the case of point, no one's looking to this devil as a standard living anymore, as much as they were, for the longest time. Because their comfort is compromised. by the prophecies of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, tearing down the strongholds and stumbling blocks of this world that Esau Edom has established as a lifestyle. See? Say Matthew 24:35, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Saddam Allah, Yahweh Shai. You see? Because it's the words of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai that further causing this Esau's heaven and earth to pass away. This is why normalcy is not coming back, man. See? And ultimately why salvation is only for Israel. This is Isaiah 45:17. And it says, but Yasharala Israel shall be saved in the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Okay, so is the Heavenly Father all the confusion? Why the case upon why did it say world without end here? And they said that in the previous precept, heaven and earth shall not pass away. This is going to the world of Israel. That same world in St. John 3:16, that harmonious arrangement, that government in Isaiah, the 9th chapter. It is the same world without end, the world of Israel. Okay, because we're going to rule this earth next. Not you Moabites, not you Russian Edomites, not you modern-day Persian Elamites from Iran. None of you going to rule. Okay, except for Yasharallah. But not before all these events, these end-time prophecies take place, and that's what that movie is about. Okay, leave the world behind, because Esau's world is going to be visible plagues. That's going to get him, him destroyed, and the elite of them, apprehended as the first fruits of slavery, man. Okay, captured as the first fruits of slavery, shall I say? You see, pursuing the Psalm of the 149th chapter. All right. Before you're eradicated after 1,000 years, pursuing Revelation 20 chapter, Obadiah 18, and so forth. You've done too much wickedness on earth, man. All right. So I'm going to end it off on that note. Pray this lesson for the edifying is when the company. Yahweh Shema Shabbat Thumb to all those tuning in. All right, Yahweh Shema Shabbat Thumb, Shabbat Shalom. All the righteous is further edifying and exhorting company to elect. With that, we give all praise, glory, and infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who is the God of the living. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, forgive me the spirit to do this video. There's a lot more to dissect in the movie, but I would have been here for, what needed to be said was already said. So I'm leaving it off on that note. All right, with that, Shabbat Shalom, and Mashapadium to the heathen. All right.